You just love the countdown.
I do, man. It's a nice countdown, though. It's a nice countdown.
I mean, yeah,
I might do
I
another one.
reckon.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got this going? Or?
Okay, I can hit go live on Instagram now.
Oh, there you go. You're live on YouTube and Instagram.
Nice. Okay.
Look at that.
Look at that. Hey, everybody. How's everything? Check out the view. It's a good view right there, Matt. Thanks
a
for
great
bringing it
view.
together, man.
Yeah, definitely. Thank y'all for tuning in for another Whiskey Wednesday. I do got a squeaky chair. I don't know if that comes across on the video or not, but yeah. So we got a another fun lineup tonight. Again, as standard or maybe expected from me, another high proof for the most part lineup. So that's just that's what we like to do around here. So we got Beans 90 tune in from the hotel in Cali. So look at that go.
Wow, nice. Nice. What's up, Beans?
So yeah, fun little lineup. We're gonna start off with a never before seen at Chat's Liquors Whiskey Wednesday. Shout out Tracy. Well, you can't hear me. Shout out Tracy. There you
Oh,
go.
there's some audio right there, huh?
Now,
Okay. Well, apologies for that, folks.
can you hear us now? Also, shout out to Nick from Lost. If you can hear us, he said "sweet hat." I know a guy who makes some pretty cool hats.
Some pretty cool hats for sure. All right. So
We
hopefully
can hear
we're
now.
back.
Tracy is confirmed. Thank you, Tracy. Um,
Yeah. So sorry about that, everybody.
so yeah, we are back. And if you want, plug Lost Whiskey Barbecue here in Eseum. If you need a cool hat just like this one, hit him up. And he can get you right. But
Indeed.
back to the whiskey in our glass. This is a great example where it's only a little over 3 years old, but you'll hear us talk about. Or do I need to start all over? Have we not had audio?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how long we haven't had audio, but let's just start here, folks. We have Bozeman Distilling, 1883. Of course, you can recap some of the things that you just mentioned, but let's talk about your stint there at Bozeman. That was very important, man. You just getting back from Bozeman, over there distilling products, hanging out there in Montana, just getting the vibe of what Bozeman has become over the years, because they got to talk about the establishment date and all, right?
Yeah.
Some of the owners.
Yeah,
So, get a whole
definitely.
spill, man.
So, this is from their standard lineup. This product is like my favorite offering from their standard lineup. So Bozeman Spirits started, this is year 11 for them. Started by Jim and Mary Pat Harris. They're in Bozeman, Montana, right there on Main Street. And so, they just really were big fans of downtown Bozeman. They're entrepreneurs. They've had other businesses in the past, wanted to get into this industry, knew they wanted to be right there on Main Street, right there downtown, especially too now with how much, like you said, it's growing and the tourism, the, being right there as main establishment right there, downtown Main Street, Bozeman. So, yeah, it started out, similarly to other ones, with clear spirits, while the whiskeys or other products were aging, and now they make a total of 16 different products, I believe. And so, yeah, they were willing to take a chance on me and brought me on as an assistant distiller and taught me the entire process of making spirits from the mashing of grain, fermentation process to then, distillation, labeling, bottling, and packaging and shipping all the way through. And
Nice.
it was a great experience, shout out to Bozeman Spirits. Learned a lot and definitely, I think how I always say is working, here with you, doing things like Whiskey Wednesday, it always sounded like a dream to go actually work at a distillery, hands-on making the product. And that confirmed that it is the dream. Getting to actually do it really felt like a confirmation that, it sounded good on paper, but then actually doing it, it's like, oh yeah, it's also a great life. So,
and you're out there for just over a year, right?
yeah, I was in Bozeman for a year. I was at the distillery for 10 months. Yeah, this one, but yeah, so
Cool. Well,
all that good stuff.
Let's raise a glass, man.
That's what I was
Welcome
about
back
to
to
say.
Bozeman, Montana. Back here on Capitol Hill, continuing what we started.
Yeah, right where we
Whiskey
left
Wednesday,
off, right?
absolutely. Just like
So,
we left off.
This is
Oh, a great nose.
78% rye, 11 corn, 11 barley.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
78, 11, 11.
There's certainly the rye profile, but it almost translates in a slightly more grassy way than like heavy spice initially.
Yeah.
That initial nose, it was kind of bright, kind of the open airy greenness of the grassiness. It was pretty nice.
It's definitely not where you said kind of the spice. I like that it's not as harsh on the spice as far as, initially on the nose, you're not getting black pepper. It leans more, a little grassy, little pine maybe. There's a little sweetness too that comes through from that corn.
You say 11 corn and 11 barley.
Yeah.
Okay. That's neat.
Yeah. So a little bit, a different rye mash bill, not your standard.
Absolutely.
But definitely big barley, Montana's barley country, and so always they love showcasing their barley. Bozeman Spirits does, as well as a lot of distilleries in the area because it's so prominent there.
Do they grow some grain?
Yeah, so they do have a 50-acre barley field that they grow. So that is, but just barley.
Okay.
But
Oops, sorry about that, folks.
yeah, so that's a cool
That's
aspect
homegrown
as
barley,
well.
right?
Yeah,
That's what we're
and
selling.
all other grains are sourced locally. They're all Montana grains. The corn, the rye, and everything that they use is all Montana grains. But the barley, they do actually grow some themselves.
Gotcha. Now, gosh,
Yeah,
keep
but
on diving into that while I just
sitting
do a
here
little bit
letting
more
it,
homework. I'm letting it breathe just a bit. And I'm gonna
yeah.
hop back in there.
And again, this one I think I said earlier, but don't know about audio. This isn't 90 proof.
Yeah, the
So
lowest one that we'll have tonight. The
that's how we like it.
lowest whiskey of the night.
But yeah, I mean, as it sits here and opens up, I get a little more sweetness out of it as it sat for a little bit. Yeah. I haven't actually, I killed my last bottle of this I had opened before the move, and I've been waiting to open this one on a Whiskey Wednesday, but I've been wanting to drink it at home, but I've been saving it.
But wow, man, that's pretty neat. It's something about, and I think that we kind of got an idea when we had Far North in from Halleck, Minnesota, right? Like this cool climate, maybe, aging, maybe grain and so forth. Distilling processes. Now the legs on this is like crazy, crazy thick.
I mean, for something that's just a little over 3 years old.
It's just over 3 years.
Just over,
but
like,
that's really a component of like the distillation and leaving all the oils intact, which gives you such a creamy kind of a viscosity to it that's really nice. But it's kind of open, a little bit more friendly than kind of the attack of heavy spices, black pepper.
Yeah.
It really leans into a little bit more of a floral, grassy tone for me. A little bit of peppercorn in the background, but very welcoming nose.
Yeah, and I think that this is a lot more, I think that's kind of the goal also when they designed this mash bill and everything like that, for it to be a little more welcoming of a rye, especially with the distillery is most known for a huckleberry flavored vodka that kind of took the area by storm, and you get a lot of people who come in asking about that or wanting to try that, and you want to push them to try, step out of their comfort zone, try other things, but rye can be a real intimidating product for a lot of people. And so I think that was kind of their goal, was to make this a more well-rounded rye and not as bold of a peppery or spice rye. So I think they did a great job with it. And yeah, I will say, since this one, the releases are older than this, and they are sitting right around 4 years old now. This is a slightly older batch. But the release, I think their last release was 4 years, if not a hair over 4 years. But
that. All right, I'm digging it, man. This is pretty cool stuff.
But again,
I must say,
this is why I think it's such a prime example where we talk about how rye takes that barrel characteristic typically quicker than a bourbon does, that this doesn't necessarily drink like it's 3 years old. Obviously you can tell it's not some high age whiskey, but you wouldn't guess it's just over 3 years old the way this drinks.
Absolutely.
And so
well, there it is right there, folks. Not a full bottle shot, but a shot of the label.
There you go. Impressive you're able to find that.
Yeah, right. I was pretty impressed myself. Yeah, super good. I think this is for something that's a little bit younger. I think it's very sippable.
Yeah.
There are no tough edges on it at all.
No.
More of a kind of malty creaminess to it.
Yeah.
And just a flavor profile that aromatically, front palate, mid palate, finish, it's pretty seamless.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
It's pretty seamless. You do get a little bit of a hint of smokiness, maybe a little bit of a toasty characteristic as far as the extraction of the oak. Nothing that's extremely caramelized sweet, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the corn sets a stage for a little bit of sweetness, but between that and the barrel, it doesn't go overly caramelized, but you definitely get kind of the maltiness that's really nice, and maybe a bit more of a
whole glass.
yeah, absolutely. We're waiting for, but the maltiness really carries the rye in a more elegant way. I like that, man.
Yeah, there is a nice creaminess, especially to me as it kind of opened up a little bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's a fun product, you know. It comes in right around that $50 price point. I don't know with this one, even though this is part of their standard lineup, I don't believe this product is available for shipping just because how it's done basically in single barrels, and pretty much the distillery itself kind of sells enough to, you know, that supply and demand kind of meet perfectly with just sales at the distillery. I believe it's one of the few products that they don't have available for shipping.
Gotcha.
Sadly.
Gotcha.
But
All
yeah.
right. Well, with all those things that I mentioned, I think it's amazingly approachable. It's at the price point, quite sippable, for sure. You have their homegrown malted barley that's blended with equal part of corn to really add balance to the flavors and the finish of this rye whiskey. Right at 90 proof, super drinkable, amazingly fresh and welcoming stylistically. And I think I'm going to give this bad boy I think I'm at a 7.25.
7.25?
Yeah. 7.25.
I'm gonna give it a 7.5, just probably out of a little personal preference, maybe, you know.
Of course.
You know, but I mean, even regardless, I think a 7.25 is a great score. Like I said, I'm gonna be at the 7.5 just because I think this bottle, I'm pretty sure this is my handwriting. Like, I wrote the batch number and the age.
So you didn't tell me all that, man.
It's a little, like, you know, for me, I'll give it the extra quarter.
For
and
sure.
I'll put it right at a 7.5.
It's well deserving to have that extra quarter, man. Solid product that is Bozeman, Montana. There is Bozeman Distilling. And they produce this Montana straight rye whiskey that is quite delicious. And 7.25 for me, 7.5 for Matt. He knows it a little bit more than I do, but I have really enjoyed this first sip for certain. And man, that was good.
Yeah, fun bottle.
That was good.
Appreciate you enjoying that with me, Burn.
Great way to start the show.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Be quite the jump from here on out. So y'all just bear with us.
Oh yeah, that is absolutely true, man. We're going up in proof quite a bit, huh?
Yeah.
We're jumping from 90 to what?
121. A smooth transition. We got a little. I'm gonna slide up front, but we got a quick water rinse we're gonna do before we get into this next product.
Yes, indeed. Gosh, it's like do I have that camera? All right, cool. Yeah,
club soda.
Camera is in. And we need to, boom, let you all see what we're going to be enjoying next.
Okay. See, I was trying to center it, you know?
Right, absolutely. In this case, kind of leaves an open gap. We don't want to leave that A gap right there. You know, line them up. So Four Roses is the next one. And as we have our little water rinse, there's some Four Roses fans out there. Yeah. Shout out to you all. I know there are quite a few individuals that are super Four Roses fan. I don't know if Whiskier is on.
I don't think I've seen him jump in yet.
Line yet? No? Okay.
I don't think so.
All right.
But also it's hard because I'm like trying to flip-flop between YouTube and Instagram or something, you know, for comments or things like that. Trying to keep it all. I got. Okay.
True. Well, gosh,
I'm
if
getting
anyone
there.
had any, we're gonna be moving on in a couple seconds.
Yeah, getting ready. Getting ready to move on. I guess I can go ahead and start pouring it up and starting to talk about it at least.
Mhm.
So, up next. Oh, good cork pop. Y'all have seen this bottle before on Whiskey Wednesday, but so you may be like, oh, I've seen y'all talk about it. I know exactly what you're going to say. Well, you'd be wrong, sadly, because we have done other Four Roses single barrel strengths in the past, but not this single barrel before. And so I can't remember. I wish we'd keep better track of what recipes we have done, because if you didn't know, Four Roses offers 10 different recipes when it comes to their bourbons or available in their single barrel products. I also believe they just upped that number this year. I wish Drew would chime in, because I'm pretty sure it's now 12 where it was 10, but I believe it was starting late last year, beginning of this year, they've upped it. Can't remember for sure. But this is going to be, the recipe is OBSK, and this is aged 9 years and 2 months. And Four Roses is cool enough to let you know, they say OBSK tends to be rich in spiciness and full-bodied. So 121 proof at 9 years and 2 months old. Did I go too far out on that?
I think you're good. I think you're good.
So I am a big fan of the single barrel strengths from Four Roses.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily buy a ton of their medium to lower end products, but it's pretty hard for me to pass one of these up. And this, I mean, again, we're talking over 9 years old, 121 proof, and this is coming in right at that like $90 price point is what I got this one for. And
Gotcha.
I just think that's especially in this market, a more than fair price when you're talking for someone as well-known, reputable, that puts out the quality Four Roses does, because some of them go all the way up to, I mean, I have another one at home that's almost 11 years old, like 10 years
really?
and 10 months. So the age on these can really get up there. And I think it's a solid bang for your buck for a single barrel, cash strength, decent age product.
Absolutely. Well, just first nose, you know you're drinking bourbon now, right?
The 121 proof already.
The 121 proof, but also that sweet corn, right? Like once you transition from the rye, although it was a northern rye, northern grains, done in such that soft, beautifully extracted, more tamed for some reason, intensity. It just really shows off extremely forward, sweet corn. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know we're transitioning.
And I mean, I get so much
Gosh, it's beautiful.
Caramelized characteristics too, right off the bat from that corn and
yeah.
the age, the combo of the two.
Yep. Caramel toast once again, a toasted oak-like note.
A little dark fruit maybe, but I feel like I've been getting that a lot lately also.
Yeah.
But some, I don't know.
I'm in the apricot realm.
Okay.
I'm in maybe a little bit of a kind of hint of raisin as prune.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of prune.
I could see some prune.
Date. I'll say a date. Like
date.
fig, date.
Yeah.
Let's say fig. Fig and date.
Oh, see, I kind of like date though.
Right. I like date as well. So both of those, fig and date.
Almost lean into that. I think I've done this before. Almost like a little on that Fig Newton side as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely. Come on now with the cookie.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Get into that little like bready cookie kind of in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, but this.
The nose is beautiful.
And there's a reason I have two at home. There's a reason why I brought this one, because I do like this one more. Do like this one more.
Absolutely. Yeah, good stuff. Cheers. I appreciate you bringing this
did you take a sip? Oh, I thought you were taking a sip. Also, pretty crazy on the legs too.
So, yeah, the 10 different recipes. This one is which mash bill?
OBSK.
OBSK. Nice.
OBSK. So also, weird little note to put in, because I have 2 of these sitting at home. Both of them were bought within just a couple months of each other. This one has the Four Roses logo stamped on top of the cork, and the other one doesn't. But the other one also tells you not only what recipe it is, but then the breakdown of grain for that recipe, where this one doesn't.
Wow.
And so somewhere, I'm not sure which one's the newer and older of the 2 as far as where they changed it.
Right.
But it's interesting where the other one had the full percentage breakdown of the mash bill, and this one doesn't. And then for some reason, this one has their logo stamped on the cork. Don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, both those bottles were bought within like a month or 2 of each other. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
If someone knows the difference, hey,
yeah,
spill
again,
the tea,
I
right?
wish Drew would
Spill
fill
the
in
tea,
here.
right? But this is the mash bill, 60% corn, 35 rye, 5% malted barley, and you definitely get the sweet corn note there of the product, but the rye, especially after it blows off, the rye definitely comes in. That 35% of rye.
I get it more on the palate than I do the nose.
Yeah. The first nose, I didn't get as much, but then after the first sip, the nose shows up a little bit more intensity of rye for me. And this is when we're talking about the peppers, the spices, right? Almost a little bit of cayenne or something, like even into that.
Yeah.
It smells like it's going to be hot on the palate, right?
Like it almost tingles your nose a little.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Indeed.
But it's not the alcohol doing it, that's where, but it's, a lot of times you get a high proof whiskey and you get that little tingle, and maybe it's the alcohol or maybe it's the rye spice or something coming through.
Yeah, but on the palate, it holds that 121 proof point quite nicely. Now, as the palate dissipates a bit, you will see, that warmth kind of come back up. But once again, it feels like spices.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like alcohol spice.
I'm trying to like something
or tingling on the middle of my tongue. It feels like a spice, like I just had a habanero or something.
But that's how I was trying to think of something that like generally sweet. Like for me, it's like when you eat just buffalo wings. Like buffalo, it's not like so hot you sit and gotta take a drink in between the wings or something like that. But when I'm done, there's this nice little warmth. Like, oh, I ate something a little spicy. Some of the little spice to it. But it's not like my mouth's on fire. I need some water. And that's kind of. But that's how. Once you take that sip, there's kind of this warmth that works its way, back to front after you take that sip. But I mean, I really enjoy this.
Yeah, it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. At a high proof, though, you will notice that kind of there's a little bit more of the interaction that you do get with the alcohol, and how that finishes. Once again, I think you feel that sensation of the alcohol across your full palate, and it's almost like a little bit of a mint, like if you had a mint or something in your mouth, and then after you finish it, you still have that very kind of breathable, like
that's what I say. Like
sinuses are a little bit more open or something like that, right? But here, your palate is just a little bit more open in the background from it, and it shows a little bit of a green-esque characteristic. Like there was some little eucalyptus left. It's not the eucalyptus flavor for me, but just like a little bit of an essence of green that's left over.
Okay, I can track with it. You
can track with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You started to lose me a little on the eucalyptus.
When I say eucalyptus, I know that throws. That's such a flavor. It throws you, right?
Yeah.
But I'll go back to like pine, maybe something in the green.
Okay. Yeah. Like a mild pine.
Spearmint to an extent, but kind of sweet. Right?
That's what. Yeah, but I started to throw that out, but I caught it.
Yeah. But super enjoyable, man.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like it too. Big fan.
Absolutely.
I think.
Of course, you can play around with it with water. Coming back to the nose, the spices. The spices in this bourbon are something that really get me.
Yeah. And I think this goes to show with having bought multiple of these over the past year, that this individual who picked this single barrel, I think, took a little more care or had a palate that aligned a little more with mine than the other ones I had. Because I think this is the one I've enjoyed the most out of the last several that I've purchased. And so whoever picked this single barrel, I know you are, but you don't know who I am, so that's okay. But I salute to you.
Indeed.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty solid, right? So you can go ahead and start off the ratings on that bad boy, sir.
You're gonna put the pressure on me.
Put the pressure's on. Pressure.
I'm gonna hit an 8 flat. I think I'm gonna be an 8.0.
Nice.
I think I'm gonna be a little higher than you on this, but there's something about it.
Oh,
That I've probably owned 6 different of these, and this is genuinely probably my favorite one that I bought of these Four Roses single barrels. So shows really well, drinks really well. I'm a little scared to give it an 8 because we got 2 more bottles that I think are some heavy hitters also, but
yeah.
you know, I'm gonna be right there. Yeah, do an 8 flat.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you
I
think?
I think I'm gonna match you on that, man.
Dang.
I can see that 8. I can see that 8, man. I mean, just the complexity levels that it has. I like the nuance. Of course, there are some folks who are super Four Roses fans, like all day. And I think that it's such a neat distillery. Doing unique blends, right? Whether that's their yeast, their mash bill, their barrel types or what have you, toast types, and that type of thing. You can get such variety from their production. But at the heart of it, there's kind of this kind of freshness of the Four Roses style that, and of course, it leans into the rye recipe usually. But that one's super good and it has a nice intensity about it, especially with the higher rye content.
Yeah.
The 35% rye, 5% malted barley,
It's a lot
60% corn. There's a complexity level there that I really do enjoy, and as it breathes and opens up, there's some true layers and legs behind that bad boy. So yeah,
I
8
love
flat
I
from
love
both
it.
me and Matt.
I probably there's not much on this earth I get more joy out of than giving my rating first and Bernie giving it the same rating. But I said it first.
You did say it first.
Really makes me feel a certain type of way.
Indeed. Enjoy that moment. Sir.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often.
Enjoy that moment.
It doesn't happen too
No,
often.
that was good. That was good.
So now, after you got an 8.0 on the 4.0 single barrel proof, we're gonna do a water rinse. And if y'all are at home drinking, we encourage you to do the same. And then we're gonna move on. We're gonna move up the ladder in proof and down the line to the next bottle.
Indeed. Make sure you stay hydrated, folks. Hydration is key. To not have hydration. I need to put something together. Hydration is key not to have a hangover.
Not to have dehydration. Hydration is key to not having dehydration.
Skip the hangover with hydration.
There you go.
Something like that, right?
There you go.
Something like that.
We will, in this water break time in between, we're going to shout out Tim Mostis, who's joined in, head distiller out there at Bozeman Spirits.
Nice.
You missed it because we started off with your rye, and it got a 7.5 and a 7.25. So,
Indeed.
And then,
good stuff.
of course, so we just missed you when we were doing your bottle, and then who joins in? Drew Beard, Mr. Whiskier himself, when we were kneesing the Four Roses guru. We were talking Four Roses.
We literally
When we were talking Bozeman Spirits, Tim wasn't here, and then we were talking Four Roses and Drew wasn't here. Y'all's timelines need to align better with ours. But that's okay. No one's holding y'all accountable.
And that's something. Isn't that something, right?
Moving forward.
Yes, indeed.
So I brought this bottle with, my bad, and shout out to Ellie. My bad.
Ellie Stinnett.
Ellie, shout out to Ellie for joining
Stinnett.
in. So, as you've probably recognized this label, this is STAGG formerly known as Stagg Junior, not to be confused with George T. Stagg.
This is it right here, folks.
This
Check it
bottle.
out in all of its glory.
Oh, you still have all your water.
We'll take care of that.
Yeah, look, yeah, Drew's here saying he's doing a Four Roses tasting this weekend. That's what I mean, Mr. Four Roses himself.
Mr. Four Roses himself, Drew Beard.
Yeah, Drew, if it wasn't so far away, I'd probably go, but, you know, I don't know. We'll see. But, so, this is Stagg. Again, most of you probably know it or call it Stagg Junior. This one right here, the main reason why I want to actually emphasize the uniqueness, why I'm calling it Stagg or harping on it, is this is batch 18 and the batch where they dropped Junior off the label.
There you go.
This is the first one that was just Stagg.
Iconic,
not
right?
Stagg Junior.
Iconic. There it is. Right
So
there,
this
folks.
is batch 18 coming in at 131 proof. I brought it and I told Bernie, I was like, man, you've done so many Staggs throughout Whiskey Wednesday. I can't even keep up or remember if we've done this batch or not, but it's never a bad time to drink it. So
Never.
why not? You know, who's ever going to complain about bringing this and drinking it? So
For sure not. Folks, this is an iconic brand. Of course, folks do chase the George T. Stagg and then the Stagg.
yeah, as I've always said, George T. Stagg is my all-time unicorn. Stagg
Yeah,
is
same
my
here.
achievable unicorn.
Yeah, that's real.
Only one of them I've sent in the bar at home, and it's this one.
It is
You
this one.
know,
Yeah.
I
that's
don't
not
have a
bad,
George T. Stagg seat
That is
at home,
not bad at all, sir.
but
So
this
it's
is a nice
all
consolation
about
prize.
the Stagg right now, folks. I just want to be able to get a
Yeah,
good
come on with
view
it.
of that.
On with it. All right. Oh yeah. Okay. There you go.
Indeed. Yeah, I want that to set forward a little bit.
Nice. Oh, and send above the little tag
Yeah,
down there.
little-
Yeah.
little-
Okay. Okay.
little ticker.
We're gonna go all out for Stagg.
We are going to go all out for Stagg because, this is definitely an achievement. We can, number one, just find a bottle that has Stagg written on it, whether it's George T or just the Stagg, or definitely the Stagg Junior now, which,
Yeah.
gosh, if you find one of those,
Ooh.
that's huge, highly collectible
Yeah.
these days, right?
And I just want to point out for everyone sitting at home who's maybe wondering, the title is Bring the Heat. And I want to point out that these bottles are in order of proof. And so this is 131 proof. So that means the next one is even higher proof. So just stay tuned. When we said heat, we meant that in more ways than one. So
Indeed.
we are definitely trying to hydrate tonight. But here we go to the Stagg.
That's for sure. Hey, thanks.
Cheers. Thank you, Bern.
This one, this whiskey has guts.
Yeah,
Right?
I like
This
it.
whiskey
Yeah,
has
yeah.
some guts. For sure.
But now, mind you,
But
well, this bottle clearly is less than halfway full, and it's been open for a minute. I've been babying this bottle,
yeah,
but at 131 proof,
it doesn't nose like it's 131 proof. I mean,
you would definitely say this is 100 proof or over. We're not going to act like this noses like an 80 proofer, but you would probably think this is a bottled and bond whiskey.
true.
It is so.
But it's like warm. It's almost a fire is going. It's almost like there's a brisket on the grill.
yeah.
I mean, it has the guts, the meat to really carry things quite well, and in such a deeper dimension than kind of what we've seen thus far
For
in the
sure.
lineup, right?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that's super noticeable. Of course, you recognize as well the rye component of the production, and of course there's they don't necessarily release their mash bill, but
Of course. Yeah.
rye and barley potentially plays a heavy role in this as well. Just
Yeah.
really getting down to some deeper flavor components, some darker notes. There's even it's more than toast. It's a little bit smoke And that's why I kind of mentioned barbecue, brisket, meat,
Yeah.
spices, a rub on that bad boy.
Now, this yeah, I mean, kind of like this bottle just makes you feel like you should be sitting on your back porch. Yeah, whether you're smoking a brisket, grilling burgers, it's like a cool night, not cold, but cool. Yeah, you got a fire pit going. And this bottle to me is one that like screams or is the epitome of sharing with friends. There's something about, and maybe it's like the guts you're talking about, like all this kind of coming together, but there's something about this bottle. If you had no label attached to it, you just go to smell this, it feels like it's a special occasion. Like it almost makes anything into an occasion.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, just such a richness to this.
Yeah, I couldn't have said that any better, Matt. Gosh. But I'm so enjoying the nose. I don't even want to drink it. Right. 131. Let's go ahead and dive in, though.
Why not?
Mm. Mm.
There's such a sweet fruit characteristic coming through on the back end of it. Now, it does show, the 131 proof shows some on the palate.
You have to adjust your breathing pattern. Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah. You have to adjust your breathing pattern. But with all the flavor that you get, you're doing that and you're having these explosions of flavor.
Yeah.
So the intensities of the flavor are able to compete with the intensities of the alcohol, right? So that's really saying something.
Yeah,
but
I like
definitely in transition, it's 131 for sure. You have to approach with a little bit more caution. This isn't, just kind of kicking it back. This is for the big boys.
It's not a bottle
girls.
You're gonna sit here and just two people kill in one evening like some of the others,
Not at all. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But it's almost, so I don't know that I can explain this super well because the alcohol shows through, but it's like in a fun way. Like it's not a discomfort burn. It's almost like an exciting, keep you on your toes, alcohol kind of going on the palate.
Yeah.
That adds like another layer of complexity or kind of nuance to the whiskey.
Indeed, I like what you said. It challenges the palate a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. That doesn't keep it boring, right?
Yeah.
Because it's challenging the palate. It's challenging even going in, having a second nose, after the first sip. Like there's some things going on there that's keeping me engaged. It's keeping it fun. It's like, wow, I can't wait to have another sip, but I still need to, be ready to get up off the bench and then step in for the next round.
For sure. For sure.
Right. So you have to have a little bit of caution.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Whenever you're doing something super fun, it always comes with a little bit of caution. Mm-hmm. Don't get out of hand because it can go left, right? So it's kind of keeping you on your toes like that.
It hurts so good, as Ellie says in the comment.
Absolutely. She has a way with words. Thank you, Ellie.
Yeah. And here's what I love. This bottle was like, and I think this has to do with babying this one. I've been able to get other batches of STAGG since this one, but this was probably my first bottle. And actually, shout out to Ellie. This was an anniversary gift technically from my wife.
Oh, nice.
Just happened to be one where we were at the store together and the bottle was there and she knew how bad I wanted it and was like, I'm going to get that for you for your anniversary. So I just, knew it was coming. But
beautiful.
I think this bottle since has still held such like a special place for me in the, history of this particular bottle for me where, I probably was hunting down STAGG and had some close calls of getting to a liquor store that
So
said, oh, we had a bottle, sold it yesterday, or something like that. And to finally get my hands on this bottle and to be able to have shared it with Burnie, with my wife, with other friends along the way too, it is one of those bottles that I've enjoyed babying and stretching out because it's such a good bottle, so fun, and I'm going to be real sad to see it go, but...
absolutely. Well, gosh.
We did, technically. I thought so, and I'm so glad I had it confirmed. We cracked open this bottle, sitting around a fire, grilling T-bone steaks over an
No,
open
I
flame
remember where this was.
in Delaplane, Virginia.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Lost Whiskey. I thought so, but I was hoping you would maybe confirm.
I remember I missed the occasion.
But this
to
was
enjoy this
cracked
as a fresh crack
with
But I saw
T-bones
pictures
over an open flame,
overlooking the pool,
overlooking Lost Mountain.
overlooking the mountain range and due east. Man.
Yep.
The clouds, the clear sky. Maybe one of your
Showing up.
dogs were out there running around.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to recreate that.
Mm-hmm.
I might have a fresh crack of something that
Never know.
certain gets out there too. Delaplane, Virginia.
Might.
Shout out Lost Whiskey Club, folks.
Shout out. But to not get too sidetracked with personal ties to a whiskey. Yeah, I think it's great.
It's hard not to though, right?
But I think that's the beauty of whiskey.
Uh-huh.
Now, see, I'm gonna get sidetracked, but I'm gonna do it. Because I think Chad Slickers is such a great display of this, that there is a societal view sometimes on drinking alcohol or consuming alcohol, especially hard liquor and things like that. And especially when you get into, oh, you drink it neat, not a cocktail, or things like that. But the relationships, the memories, the bonds that have been formed, that have all been curated or helped along by the involvement of products like these on the table. And to be able to walk away with that physical, that tangible item from that event, whether it's an empty bottle from a really good event or whether it's just the memory of every time I drink this bottle, I go back to this event that happened that was so noteworthy, is I think the depth, the level of connection that's formed, the bonds that are formed around just spirits in general. For us, it happens to be whiskey, but whether you're tequila, rum, I don't care. If you're vodka, we'll judge you, but it's okay. You can be vodka,
For sure.
But spirits in general, yeah.
I think that's perfect timing, and timely, I would say. We shouted out Lost Whiskey Club, just that moment of popping this bottle of Stag open. I remember setting up that anniversary trip for you and Ellie to go out there to Lost Whiskey, and I missed, coming out and enjoying just a few moments with you. I didn't want to crash you.
Yeah, but you were invited.
I was. You
were invited on second day.
It looked like you had plenty of steaks there. And I know some of your pups ate well. But
yeah, they got plenty.
Yep. But that's what Lost Whiskey is all about. That tie-in. And it shares a stage, with something like a Stag, where you open up a Stag, it's a memory. And I remember so many occasions enjoying Lost Whiskey Club, making memories, just a couple Fridays ago.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was going to say, 2 Fridays ago, I think.
But Stag is that. Every Stag. I remember having some George T. Stag, with Drew Beard, whiskier himself, recently, for Whiskey Wednesday. But I remember when he opened the bottle, years ago, of another same bottle that we enjoyed again more recently. And so these memories with these fantastic, very highly sought after, very rare whiskeys that some of us have been enjoying for over a decade, maybe even close to a decade and a half, and seeing kind of where they have ended up now within the whiskey world, as George T. Stagg did, aka Stagg Jr., and now just Stagg. It's amazing, because I've seen their growth, and they have always been amongst some of my absolute favorite whiskey. But how rare are they? Very.
Yeah.
So this occasion has been phenomenal.
And before anyone calls me out, I did also crack open a bottle of Lost while I was out there too. So don't come at me. I still got the tag and everything, dates marked on it. Don't worry. It's there.
Indeed.
It's noted. But
well, I mean, with everything I just mentioned and how engaging this whiskey is, how absolutely phenomenal this product is. Gosh, it's up there. It's in the 9 and 9 pluses. I'm going 9.25.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
9 to 9.25.
So okay.
I might be at a 9, but it's so good right now. I'm going 9.25.
So we're okay. Yeah. I'm a
Yeah.
9, but
You're
I'm
a
like,
9, yeah.
you put me in the right, like,
It was the right moment.
if we poured another glass of it, I'd be
Yeah.
at 9.25.
Yeah.
But we need to.
I'm just thinking about the moments I've
Yeah.
enjoyed it. You know, just this moment right here, being with you here right now. Like, this is memories. This is memories,
sure.
and so that's why it probably gets an extra quarter to maybe even a half, right?
Yeah.
But it all day long, a solid 9 for this bad boy.
This is also the bottle I always say, like, everyone has a budget for whiskey. Everyone has their own opinions. There's a lot of things out there like, oh, that's overpriced. That's not. This is one of the bottles where I'm a big believer in. If you like it, you should go get it.
Yeah, indeed. If you can find it, right? If you can find it. So yeah, Matt gives it a 9. I give it a 9.25. That is our rating for the STAGG Barrel Proof Bourbon. It is 131 proof. This was the 2018 release, right? Absolutely.
No, well, this is batch 18.
I'm sorry,
I
batch
don't know
18.
if that came out
Okay.
in 2018 or not.
Gotcha. So that's our rating, folks. Water break time. Let's go. Folks, it doesn't get any better than that. Oh my gosh. It's just a little calm. April 2nd, Wednesday. And good God, this man right here is handing out samples of STAGG. Like, I'm gonna want another little swig of it myself in a second, right? But he
Why not?
comes
We got-
back from Bozeman, Montana. He's the most generous individual on earth. Shout out to Drew Beard. Shout out to Lotto Farrell. Shout out to,
Cheers.
Lenny Myers. Shout out to Mike. Don't know your last name, Big Mike. But
I don't even know how to pronounce his name.
okay, you'll have to school me on your name, Mike.
Mason
Shout
or
out
something.
to Travis Langster.
Yeah.
You know. Shout out to Ellie Stinnett
Shout out to Ellie Stinnett.
for sure. Oh my gosh. Super generous this is right now. This occasion doesn't happen, in many places. There's an individual that literally happened into chats and is
Or you want
drinking some of this
rum?
STAGG with us. And it's just kind of what happens sometimes when you step in the chats on the right day. Then you get some
Trump sometime.
$100 pours for sure
But you got
out of a Glencairn.
a high
It's always a good time. So folks, Matt is doing his thing. He's the consummate customer service representative. You can't call him a salesman because he just offers knowledge. That's what we are all kind of maybe blessed to be able to do. If we have some knowledge, just share the knowledge. If it means that someone's got into a direction that sets them up well for a good experience, even better. Even better. But Lost Whiskey Club, like literally as we were like pawning over, STAGG, and we were doing the same with Lost Whiskey Club,
Good bottle.
then yeah, they go hand in hand.
Cheers, man.
That's a great bottling right there. You enjoy it, sir. Absolutely. Where are you visiting from? Fairfax. Are you visiting from Fairfax, Virginia? Falls Church.
No kidding.
There you go. Turn them on to Lost Whiskey Club out there in Fairfax.
Look them up. On Thursday afternoons, you can go hang out with them. They're right over there by Mosaic District. They got a little, Thursday
I'll be setting up a
afternoons.
little hangout with them very soon. So,
But yeah, we're also trying to do a whole
get in on
collab
that.
one day. So, but
Follow us
yeah,
on Instagram.
definitely.
Chat Slickers. Indeed.
For sure.
What's it called?
Chat's Liquors.
Yes,
Yep,
sir. You have a
absolutely.
good night, all right?
What's your name?
Patrick.
Patrick. Shout out to Patrick.
Thanks for having a glass with us.
Thank you all. Thank you. It was excellent.
Indeed. Come on.
I love this tip.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
There you go.
Cheers. Dude.
Why not? Why not? We're having a good night. It's good to be back. Got some good bottles. We're sitting out here. I love how just heat of the moment, pour another glass of this for both of us when we're about to dive into this.
Well, our palate better be set for high proof.
Yeah.
Our palate better be
So
set.
we land on 9 and 9 1/4 on this, right? 9
9
and 9 1/4.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Yep. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And this is one, folks, that like literally we're drinking it neat, absolutely neat,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so beautiful. But of course, they deliver it to you in a fashion where you can play around with this if you like, with a couple drops of water. If you're gonna do a whiskey on the rocks, which I never recommend. I never recommend doing whiskey on the rocks, especially quality whiskey, because it drops
Never.
the temperature so low, the chemistry is muted. It like totally mutes so many flavors. So cooling down your Glencairn or your whiskey glass with some cold water. One of the reasons why we do a water rinse between every dram. Once you pour the whiskey into the dram, then you will reduce the temperature of the whiskey by a few degrees. Nothing extreme like
Yeah.
pouring it over a rock, but maybe 15 degrees
Sure.
or so. So if we're at 70 degrees and shop here at about 55, that's perfect.
I'd say it
That's
takes
perfect.
it from room temp to slightly cool.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
the
Absolutely.
whiskey
But
on your
not
palate.
shockingly cold, right?
Yeah.
And so that makes a huge difference, and that's our preference. So shout out to everybody who likes to rock in their quality whiskeys. Not one of them.
He said, shout out to him. I just don't support you.
There
That's
you go.
okay.
That's fine.
You know?
That's fine.
Hey, and
We can agree to disagree, and it's all good. If as long as we're drinking some whiskey, at least we have
here
that in common.
is the only time I enjoy a rock. I'm also an anti-rock in my whiskey guy. 100% honesty, except for if I'm outside on a hot summer day.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only time where it's just I need to drink something cold, and I happen to be wanting whiskey,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm gonna put a rock in there. But I might put the rock in and pull it out or something. You know what I
Okay,
mean? Not
okay.
not get the full dilution necessarily
Okay.
of it, because that does get overwhelming. But no different. You know, me and my wife were hanging out a hot tub yesterday and had whiskey out there, and
Say,
but
rest is.
But by the end of it, the whiskey wasn't quite finished, and we're like, oh, like sitting in the sun. This whiskey is like literally warm
Yeah.
to almost hot now, and it's not enjoyable to drink
Of
anymore.
course,
And
of
so
course.
being outdoors on a warmer day,
Of course. And that's why I prefaced it with quality whiskey.
Sure.
Right? Drinking quality whiskey. Now, on that hot day, unless things are just really great and you're celebrating,
yeah,
maybe Stag isn't going to be poured in the hot tub, you know, with the
and
ice
it
cube.
wasn't.
Right,
Yeah,
absolutely.
It wasn't.
But
Yeah.
there are others, like, you know, some Green River Full Proof. Sure, go ahead and crack that open and put a cube in it.
Yeah.
Black Draft, pop the 96 small batch open, put a
Yeah.
cube in it on a hot day.
Some Johnny
That's what I'm going to
Drum
be
or
drinking.
something,
Some
you know?
Johnny
Yeah.
Drum, absolutely. But a Stag, mm-mm. No, sir.
Yes, I will
No way.
say I would never put a cube in this whiskey. I will say that. Yes. So
Please hand deliver your hate mail to 503 8th Street, Southeast DC. I'm kidding.
come on, come see us.
Come see us.
Come see us.
For sure, there'll be some people who are hating on me for that.
So
All right. Come on. We're
Final-
moving along, folks. And that was so good. Thank you for the extra sip of
Oh, definitely.
that Stag, man. Wow.
So
That was epic.
moving on to a newer brand that y'all recently talked about on Whiskey Wednesday. You and Zoe did.
Indeed.
Just a different product from their lineup. So we are gonna finish the night. Oh man, with
Ribs are done, by the way.
the ribs are done.
The
Great,
ribs
pull
are
them
done.
off the smoker.
Indeed. Come on, Lost Whiskey Barbecue.
Horse
Make it happen.
Soldier, 10-year-old, single barrel proof. And as you might already be asking yourself, But that Stag was 131 proof. Y'all said y'all are moving up in proof. What's this one? 144.4. So
Wowza.
144.4 proof. Now, I have an interesting story about this bottle. Oh, hope you're thirsty, bro.
Indeed.
So this is what I was
Show that
told.
off.
Or we were filling
No,
the
it's
gaps.
fine.
My bad.
It's
We're
fine.
not moving all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
So I was told by the company that picked this single barrel. We'll leave them unnamed just in case any of this is not true. I'm just going off the best of my recollection of the story I was told.
Okay.
That they had been in communications with Horse Soldier about picking a single barrel.
Okay.
They were sent samples. They picked their sample. But then once they picked it, Horse Soldier asked them what they would like it to be proofed down to. And they said, oh no, like we wanted exactly how you sent it to us at cash strength. And Horse Soldier's like, well, that's not our intent. And they said, well, that's not your intent. We don't want it because we want it exactly how you sent it. So they said, okay, we will do it for you. And they picked 3 barrels of it. But Horse Soldier said, y'all are the only people we're going to let have these single barrels at barrel proof. Because it was an accident that they were not supposed to be offered at barrel proof because of how high proof they were. And so the claim is that this entity is the only ones to have gotten barrel-proof 10-year-old Horse Soldier single barrels. But I could be wrong. That's at least the spiel I was given and part of what really leaned me into buying this bottle. But I don't regret it regardless of that because it's a great bottle.
Absolutely.
But that is the story I was given, that it was a little mistake, lack of communication, and it wasn't meant to be at the proof because of how high proof, at 144.4, that's pretty intimidating.
I'll tell you that. Yeah, that's some high proof right
But
there.
I mean,
folks.
as soon as you knows this,
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I mean, come on. And this bottle's not been opened that long, and I mean, you see there's not much that's been pulled out of it, because this is a bottle where, you know, this isn't a bottle you want to accidentally mess around and have 4, 5, 6 glasses of, because this one will probably hit you blindsided quick.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. 144. I mean, we are not playing here. But once again, deep, rich characteristics aromatically.
Yeah.
And
I mean, there is, again, like, you know this isn't some 90 proof whiskey, but I don't know if there's anyone you could give this glass to that would guess it's 144 proof.
144.
I
That's
mean,
crazy, right?
Sure.
That is crazy.
It,
But the sweet corn kind of toast, almost brown sugar,
yeah, I'm trying
a
to,
little bit deeper, honey molasses.
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 I'm leaning on molasses, I think.
It's ripe, super ripe. Probably not as there's a freshness still about it. Not as kind of funky and or smoky, as a couple of others. So maybe
it doesn't have,
leaning into a bit more of a sweeter profile all around.
it doesn't really seem to offer any sort of smoke whatsoever to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, the complex sweetness and this like rich, dark sweetness, that's what, molasses kind of. It's a trendy thing now to have barrel-aged honey.
Right.
And it kind of like
The honey
leans to
barrels and
that,
so forth, speaking of the Rio. Right? Which
Shout
came
out
in
to Rio.
recently.
If you
Shout out to
follow us on
Penelope, right?
Instagram,
Yeah.
you could have got a bottle, but
we had a drop of Penelope Rio.
yesterday sold
for
out.
low in the city.
Sold out quick.
Really quickly.
Quick.
Check out the marshmallow. 1 bottle of the marshmallow toasted
bottle
just
of
came back
marshmallow.
in stock.
Just came back. And I'm maxed. I thought I got the last bottle, but there's one left, so oh well.
Indeed.
As it opens up, do you get a little bit of nuttiness?
A little bit of nuttiness.
As I went to take my sip, But see, on the palate, I definitely do.
If it,
So
if
maybe
it
it's
is,
just
maybe
the
it's still quite light.
It was like
it might be a little macadamia and almond, maybe.
in transition of
In
like
transition,
nosing to
okay.
take a sip. I was like, was that nuttiness? But on the palate, I definitely. So maybe it's just on the palate. I definitely get a little like borderline burnt peanut brittle.
Okay.
You know, like that, like burnt sugar and peanut brittle combined. You know, so I
Gotcha.
don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Like,
But I would say if you're a fan of like those Jack,
yeah,
you know,
okay,
high proof,
yeah.
then this is like the sweetness, the richness of this one
Mm-hmm.
kind of puts me in mind of some of those aged barrel proofs, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll say Coy Hill, but
So not say,
maybe aromatic.
but not say it's on the same level.
Mm-mm.
But I think to say the most comparable product that comes to mind
Mm-hmm.
would be that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's a fair
Mm.
assessment. And this one, you want to talk about bang for your buck. How many 10-year age-stated single barrels at a hazmat proof? Let's think about Coy Hill that we just made our Mark II.
Yeah.
I picked this bottle up for $108.
Wow. Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
right, just over
Absolutely.
a couple bucks, over $100. I
Yep.
mean, I think that is a crazy value. But I mean, it does, again, similar to the Stag.
Mhm.
On the nose, you're not getting much alcohol. Obviously, there's a tiny bit, but on the palate, I mean, this is 144 proof. You can't cover it all up. It's gonna show. It's gonna show through. You know. But still, this
That's
is in not near as intimidating or overwhelming as you might expect just on the surface level. I mean, you'll hear me and Bernie talk about this, and I think there's a fine line. We love high proof. But the caveat to that is we love quality high proof whiskey.
Yeah. For sure.
Because why we love high proof, I'm sure this has been said before, is because you can't hide anything. When you give it to us at barrel proof, there's nothing that can be covered up. There's no flavor that can be changed by adding water and diluting it down. The quality of your grains, the quality of your mashing, the quality of your distillation process is in full glory and being shown in its entirety. And I think there's a respect level held for those products that drink so well because of the difficulty that goes into creating a product at 144 proof that drinks
that you
well,
actually bottle
that
confidently.
doesn't burn from start to finish,
Right.
you know, from nose to palate.
Mhm.
There
If there
is
is some intensities, then it's like
Yeah.
it can be understood just with taking your time and a different approach, an approach for a higher quality, high proof experience.
yeah,
And of course, Stag is going to deliver that without problem. I've never been disappointed in anything that has
Right.
STAGG,
CAGG.
absolutely, in the name. And they're all high proofs, high 120s plus.
Yeah, I mean the
Right.
lowest. Yeah, I mean it's like 120s all the way up.
Yeah.
They've been hazmats as far as I've seen single barrels of
Yeah.
businesses doing a Stag that were 140 plus.
Yeah, I don't know if they really get under 127.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, like 126, 127. I
Yeah.
feel like is the lowest I'm aware of. But
And that's what George T and Stag Jr. and now Stag.
mhm.
But this one, while it's kind of speaking about some of the others, including Stag, but also the Coy Hills and all these other things, compared to a Coy Hill, maybe just a little less viscosity, than it
Sure,
has.
yeah.
And so just accounting for that, but certainly delivers aromatics that are approachable, nothing volatile and offensive aromatically, which is quite the nod to them for their selection of quality whiskey. And then on the palate, like a full spectrum of flavors there that are warm, that are sweet corn notes,
Mhm.
kind of dark fruit notes, darker toasty charred notes, Um, Still a level of kind of vanillin and maybe a little hint of apple there that kind of keeps a
Yeah.
freshness factor.
But what I think is such a nod to them, and what had me so excited about this is in my personal conversations, this is just speaking personally here. In personal conversations or experiences, I haven't had conversations where people reference Horse Soldier in super high or top tier regard. They were like, it's a good product, but they're kind of that mid-range
Yeah.
product.
Okay.
And maybe in the future they'll get there. But to see them, I hadn't seen them release a product with this kind of age, and I hadn't seen them release a product with this kind of proof. So that had me real excited to see, because that's a bold statement. It's
No
a
doubt.
bold statement to step into double-digit age statement and over 140 proof whiskey. And
Yeah.
I can always commend anyone for taking that leap and taking that step. And I think this is exciting for me, for this brand in their future, where maybe some of their standard lineup products aren't products I'm going to be looking for, going after, but this one has me more interested in the brand.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have to keep my eye out, so you all keep your eye out as well for a few more products or some products from Horse Soldier, maybe making it into chats here on the shelves. We'll maybe explore that over
Might be
the
fun.
months to come.
Yeah.
See what might make a fit to then showcase to you all, whether in store or online. But quite nice. It's crazy the spice complexity, kind of third approach.
Yeah.
Floral spice, even kind of getting into a level of baking spice and maybe Asian baking spices that are neat. Like there's a complexity of flavor here that's super, of aromatics that's super cool on the palate. Like this is one, once again, play around with it with water, but it's giving you the ability to enjoy it at its fullest potential. And if you don't taste it at its fullest potential, you can't really appreciate maybe the greatness that it is. Like when they can bottle this at full proof and you drink it and you're having enjoyment at that full proof point, then that's the highest level of potential. Anything other than that is like, okay, it can be fun, but
it's a banger. It's fun.
Well, gosh, this particular 10-year Horse Soldier
What you think?
Barrel Select, man, I'm digging this. I think I'm going to have to be at an 8.25. Man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that.
I'm at 8.25 for this bad boy.
I'll say it an 8.25. I'm an 8.25 to 8.5. I'm really
but your first
teetering
thought is
8.25.
8.25. Wow, do we have twice tonight?
Twice, yeah.
Whoa, what's going on,
But
folks?
I want to give it the 8.5, but there is, to be real nitpicky, because I think a big part of Whiskey Wednesday is education to you people watching, where if you were to come across these products, you have as much knowledge as you can have without trying them to be able to decide whether it's worth your hard-earned money or not. And this one is. I really enjoy this, hence why it's getting in the 8s. It's the finish. There is a lack of lingering and depth on the finish for me.
Yeah.
And I think that holds, maybe to me personally, a little higher value than it does for other people.
Yeah.
Because if I paid a lot of money for a pour or for a bottle, I want to be able to take a sip. And when I go to take my next sip, whether that's in a minute or 5 minutes, I still have that flavor lingering in my mouth, kind of. And this just doesn't quite provide that for me. And that's probably the one nitpicky thing that keeps it from an 8.5 for me.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just being fully transparent.
I can agree with that. I was at an 8.25 because I'm so impressed of how much flavor and balance and so forth it delivers at 144 proof. And 1444 proof.
Hey,
And
that's
that's
a 444.
that's
Wendy's 444.
for sure.
Sorry.
Love it. But yeah, I can see where what you mentioned. The viscosity of it isn't quite as high as some of the absolute greats.
Yeah.
But it's knocking on the door. It's up there
think
for
so.
144 for sure. So that is our rating for the Horse Soldier 10-year Barrel Select Bourbon whiskey. It is Kentucky. Horse Soldier is a bottler, but seems like all the product is maybe distilled there in the region, maybe Ohio, maybe Kentucky. I don't know. I'm going to say Kentucky because they didn't put anything Ohio as far as distilling goes. But the product in the bottle at 144, it really does deliver. Matt gave it an 8.25. I gave it an 8.25.
I also just
We
like this thing
met.
is dark.
It's dark. Yeah.
I want to turn it sideways just
That's
for the camera.
some
I mean, that's
density
a
for you right
that's
there.
a dark whiskey. I
Darkness on
literally,
the table.
when I bought this,
STAGG
I
comes-
sent a photo to Zoe and said it looks like motor oil. That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah,
this bottle
yeah.
looks like.
For
But-
sure.
But I think it kind of puts the industry on notice for someone like Horse Soldier, who maybe was kind of being not taken as a competitor, kind of just taken as a newer brand.
Yep.
But maybe how seriously we need to take them or not. I mean, I think putting out a bottle like this kind of puts other brands on notice that if this is the road you're heading down, it's impressive to start with, and I love to see where it leads to.
You got to come correct.
Yeah.
Right? You got to come correct. You got to get some quality product and know what you're doing as far as any type of batch blending goes.
Yeah.
And especially to deliver at such high proof, you have to be very selective and probably discount and disregard so many barrels before you get to the honey barrels, right? Indeed. Well, folks, that's a wrap. I tell you, we appreciate you joining us on this April 2nd. Happy April, everybody, right?
Yeah.
Gosh, we're moving right
April's here.
along, man. April's
Crazy.
here. It's springtime. The cherry blossoms are in full bloom right now. If you're in the DMV, the DC, Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, if you're coming over the season, come to Chats. Check us out.
For sure.
Stop by and say hello. Of course, you're going to, if you're talking whiskey, you will likely get a dram of something when you're here.
Never know.
Because just how we operate. But so happy to have M-Dog Stennett back in the house, back in DC. We're going to figure out some great things to bring to everyone here in the community, right here in DC and abroad. And so be looking for us. Make sure you like our videos. Check us out on YouTube. If you're on Instagram, please follow us on YouTube. That's youtube.com/@chatsliquors, CHATSLIQUORS. Once again, youtube.com/@chatsliquors is the handle. Give us a follow over there on YouTube. Let's get that viewership up and running and get the algorithm noticing what we're doing.
And the whole video is going to be reposted there. So if you came in, you miss 1, 2, or 3 bottles, you can go back and see what we had to say or what we thought about the others.
Well,
so
the great thing about that is that we're live on YouTube now. And it's automatically posted to YouTube.
Exactly.
No reposting like you have to do with Instagram, right? So anybody who is following this on Instagram, you can now go to YouTube and see the complete videos. And we're trying to upload as many of those previous videos to YouTube, so we always have access to that. Plus on Instagram as much as we can. So.
And I mean, we got exciting things in the works coming very soon. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we'll be able to release some information here in the next just week
Well,
or two.
I will say,
or-
stay locked in.
Yeah.
Because we want to get some folks together. We're gonna do a couple field trips.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a couple field trips here very soon. Shout out to Lost Whiskey Club who was in the live tonight. They're right here in Fairfax, literally a 30-minute drive.
For sure.
And we're going to connect out there at Lost Whiskey Club. Matt's rocking with some of the newest swag. I got to get my
The
swag game
newest,
up.
the freshest release from their hat collection.
Indeed. And of course, you know how much we love and appreciate and we've been riding with and how core Black Draft is as a brand for Chat's Liquors out in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Shout out to them. There's always, you know, barrels that
This whole
this table
setup you
sits
can't
on.
see, but it's sitting on barrels from Black Draft.
Indeed. Matt's resting his elbow
Yeah.
on a barrel, and I'm resting my elbow now on a barrel of Black Draft bourbon. But we'll be making a trip out there as well that we're going to set up for late spring or during the summertime. So
Yeah.
be on the lookout for those dates and times, and please join us. But other than that,
Anyone not in the DMV area, if you're in the DMV area, come to Chats and buy your Lost Whiskey. If you're not, Lost Whiskey is now shipping to your door, I believe, in basically all 50 states. And as of right now, if you buy 3 or more bottles, they're throwing you in a free hat. You could get this hat for free if you buy 3 or more bottles. If you're not in the DMV area, get it shipped to your door, but don't buy just 1 or 2. Buy 3, get you a free hat thrown in. Get it shipped to your door. If you're watching this and you're not in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, just want to plug
well,
that.
I know
real quick.
I've purchased at least 50 cases, and I think I got 1 free hat. So Lost Whiskey, come on, man.
Come on.
Give me right on the hat
Come
game
on
so
now.
I can get my swagger
There
up
you go.
like Matt has his
There you
swagger
go.
up.
And
But he made the investment.
Uncle
so.
Nearest shirt too underneath.
Uncle Nearest shirt underneath. Come
Man,
on,
I'm
Fawn.
repping all the
Let's
brands.
go. Oh, there's a there's a little fashionable hat over here from Uncle Nearest I got for you, Matt.
Yeah.
But folks, we're gonna see you in 7 days if we don't see you sooner on some of the live channels, or if you don't come on in here for our Friday night spirit tastings, 5 to 8 every Friday, Saturday afternoon wine tastings 3 to 6, right here at Chat Liquors, 503 8th Street, Southeast, Capitol Hill, the oldest wine and spirit shop on Capitol Hill.
Right. And the
on.
best.
There
best.
you go. We just do what we do humbly and with love and passion. That's all. So if you dig it, you dig it. If not, don't even worry
If
about
not,
it.
something's wrong with you.
If-
Love y'all.
Much love.